Focus Mode. This is Focus Motivation, and I'm Victor Emmanuel Mansa. I'm so glad that you find time to join me. And today I have a very important subject that I want to share with you. And this subject, I hope it's going to help us a lot. It's going to develop us as an individual, as a society, or as a nation when you get these facts that I'm going to share with you. This is very important for our own growth. So today, without wasting much of your time, I'm going to dwell on knowledge. Knowledge. We have got a first question. What is knowledge? Pause a minute. What is knowledge? Ask yourself that question. What is knowledge? I've got three definitions, two from the dictionary and the other one from the Bible. Now let's get on to it. What is knowledge? Knowledge is the acquisition of facts, information, and skills through experience or education. Knowledge is the acquisition of facts, information, and skills through experience or education. The other one goes like this. Knowledge is the condition of knowing something with familiarity or facts. Knowledge is the condition of knowing something with familiarity or facts. Now, biblically, knowledge is the illumination of the mind. Knowledge is the illumination of the mind. For the purpose of this program, I want to use the last definition to explain or to drive home my point about knowledge. So allow me to use knowledge is the illumination of the mind, with no offense, of course. What do we mean when we say knowledge is the illumination of the mind? We are simply saying, for instance, if you are to be called to enter a house where you have never been before, and it's at night, there is no electricity inside the room or the house that you are invited into. The first thing that you would do, you would demand for light to be in there so that you can go in with a clear view of of the passage in which we are moving. So this has to say, before you enter into a room or your own room in your house, you have to switch on the light. That's why in the beginning, in Genesis chapter 1 verse 3, we have God said, let there be light. Let there be illumination in what I'm going to do. So in simple terms, we are saying knowledge is the light within ourselves. Knowledge is the awareness of who we are. Knowledge is the awareness of what our surrounding is. So when we have this broad view of the word knowledge, we are able to do things according to the knowledge that we have. Knowledge, the first point that I want to make is knowledge is acquired, meaning you can go to school and acquire knowledge. Knowledge is everywhere. What I'm doing right now, I'm trying to share knowledge with you about the word knowledge so that you get the understanding. And when you have this understanding, you'll be set free. I don't want to go much further on that one. Let's leave it there. The second point or the second question is, why is knowledge important? Why is knowledge important? I'm not trying to answer that one. Let me answer in these two formats. Number one, knowledge is power. Let us be helped biblically. Proverbs chapter 24 verse 5. The wise are mightier than the strong, and those with knowledge grow stronger and stronger. New Living Translation Bible. The wise are mightier than the strong, and those with knowledge grow stronger and stronger. Proverbs 24 verse 5. This simply says, when you have knowledge, you are able to do things more than what a strong person can do. Take for instance, you want to lift something, or you are told to lift something. By virtue that you are told to lift something, you go straight to lift that something, that thing that you are told to lift. But you are responding to what you have been told to lift something or to take something from one place to another point. Now, in this case, this something that you want to lift is so heavy you cannot lift it yourself. So you apply the knowledge that you have about lifting now. This is now you take a chain block, or you call somebody to help you so that you lift this thing that you've been taught to do. That application is what we call knowledge of lifting. We move on. Knowledge is liberating. John chapter 8 verse 32, the Bible records, know the truth and the truth shall set you free. Know the truth and the truth shall set you free. When you know something, you have the illumination of something, there comes true freedom. You only be free when you know something. The problem that we make most of our time is we know that we don't know something, then we pretend to know what we don't know. We know that we don't know something, then we pretend to know that we know what we don't know. That is a problem that we make. So the best knowledge that you have to have is knowing that I don't know this thing, but I want to know it. That's the best knowledge that you can ever find. For instance, you want to know yourself. What is it that you know about yourself? It's not about the name. Those are just two words that you have been given by the parents. Knowing yourself by the name is not enough knowing. Knowing yourself by the complexion or by the outside is not enough. It's not tangible. You cannot touch yourself. Knowing yourself goes deep by knowing what drives you, the horsepower that is in you, the potential, the ability that you have within you that drives you. That's the true knowledge we are talking about here. Third point, why is knowledge important to an individual? Knowing oneself is the beginning of all achievements. When you know yourself, nothing can stand in your way or hinder you from moving progressively, because you know your capability, you know your ability, and you know the potential that you have to move forward. Having enough knowledge about yourself is very important, because it will help you to discard the distraction. We know we want to get somewhere in life. We have got a problem. We don't want to fail. You know, folks, failing is not the final answer. Failing itself is a learning phase. When you fail, you have to learn, why did I fail? Why did not I progress on doing this? So learning is good because it will help you clarify your way to your destination. It helps you have a clear view of what you want in life. Understanding of our divine creation as human beings will help us achieve a lot at an individual level and a society as well. Understanding of our divine creation will help us achieve a lot in life. Number one, what we have to understand about ourselves. We have to understand that we are spiritual beings. Our connection with our innermost man. Do you have that connection? Do you know yourself? Do you have that connection? Do you have the Spirit of God in you? Number two, the intellectual aspect. The way we apply what we have learned, the way we applied the knowledge that we have acquired, the intellectual part. Third point, physical, the container, the body. Sometimes we respond to situations because of what we feel, the emotions. How am I going to be perceived in society? What the people are going to see? We care so much about the body. How am I looking? You go into the mirror. How am I looking? You have a full knowledge about the outside container, which is the body, but you don't have the full knowledge of the spiritual man and the intellectual man inside you. That is why life seems so difficult for us to move forward, because we have the full knowledge of the non-entity, and we neglect to have the full knowledge of the two important beings, which is the spiritual and the intellect. So when we got all of this, we have the freedom of moving forward to where we want to go. We have the freedom of achieving what we want to achieve in life. So the ball is in our hands. What knowledge do we have about ourselves? That's the question I want to pose to you today. Do I have enough knowledge about myself? Do I know myself enough so that nothing can hinder me from the progress that I want to achieve? Folks, if you have this knowledge, you are on your way to success. Thank you very much. Till another time. This is Focus Motivation.